Hi everyone, I'm CBS19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony, live here on our YouTube channel and on our CBS19 Plus streaming channel, and of course our Facebook page. We're going to go over our weather update here as we head into the evening hours. We are tracking some showers across parts of East Texas. They will become a little less numerous as we head through parts of the overnight hours and then increase again likely after about 2 or 3 o'clock. But right now you're just looking at some very light rain, no severe weather out there. But again, thanks for watching on our YouTube channel. If you want to like or subscribe to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. If you want to share this out, go ahead. If you're watching on our Facebook page, I'm going to go ahead and try to watch on the Facebook page and answer any questions that might pop up here as we head through the evening. We'll take about 10 or 15 minutes, bring you up to date on what could happen tomorrow. And I do have some new information based on the rainfall that happened today. There may be some adjustments to the severe weather outlook tomorrow. I'm going to go over those in just a second. Of course, that's going to be based just on what I'm seeing here. Storm Prediction Center could play it safe and say, okay, well, we're going to keep everything as is until we see otherwise. All right. I'm just reading on the Facebook, trying to see what's happening there. Anyway, so we got these showers coming in west to east across the area. Heavier rainfall moving back into western parts of Henderson County and also parts of Anderson County. So I'm going to zoom in here and pan back there toward Athens, Palestine. That little bit of a heavier shower, our Titan indicator. Let's go in and take a look inside that storm. So we're not seeing any hail. It's moving to the east about 34 miles an hour. Maybe a little bit of a breezy wind coming out of that and perhaps a little downpour. So let me just track that right off of the Titan indicator. Going east about 34 miles an hour, and that would take it over toward Crossroads, up toward Pointer, Frankston, and CUNY here within about the next hour or so. Otherwise, again, what you would expect in those towns would be maybe a downpour. I'm not seeing any lightning with it, so it's technically not a thunderstorm, but it could have some wind because it is raining rather hard in those spots. All right, let's widen things back out here and take another look at the radar from a different, wider perspective, and you'll see there are some heavier showers and thunderstorms down around Huntsville toward Madisonville. Thunderstorms in the Bryan area. These are tracking eastward. Should stay out of even deep East Texas, kind of lifting a little bit to the northeast perhaps, so maybe I spoke too soon. So Groveton, you might be in line for this shower and thunderstorm. If it holds together, it could track up toward the Groveton area, West Livingston on up into southeastern parts of Angelina County, maybe up into San Augustine and Sabine County if it can hold together. It's a pretty good look at thunderstorm right now. Looks kind of healthy, so it may make that trek in there tonight, probably at about 10 or 11 o'clock. Let me pause on that. We'll put a track on that cell as it moves northeast, also at about 34 miles an hour. So we'd be looking at that heavier thunderstorm moving toward the Groveton area. It would be after 10 o'clock tonight. We make it up to Trinity about 9:47. So heavier thunderstorm there, not warned currently. Wider look at everything, throw it back into motion for you, and you'll notice that things are trying to wind down. Again, I do think we could see things sort of wind down here by about 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe closer to midnight. And then as showers and thunderstorms that are out in West Texas right now get going, they will track into the region later on in the overnight hours. All right, so let's advance and take a look at this photo here from Darling Coulter down at Lake Jacksonville. This is a picture from the last heavy rains last week on, I believe it was last Wednesday or last Friday. We saw some flooding rains across the area. Lake Jacksonville filled up. We may see this similar picture repeated here by the end of tomorrow with potentially very heavy rain in the forecast. And I think the very heavy rain is going to be the bigger part of this story versus tornadoes and wind damage and hail. Flood watch is in effect all day tomorrow into Wednesday morning, but essentially all day tomorrow because the rain ends late Tuesday night. We're not really worried about rain Wednesday morning. Right now outside from our CBS19 studio camera, we have wet streets. You might be able to see the shining streets off the reflection of the headlights. Temperature outside's a cool 65 degrees. Not really even a clammy 65. That's a cool 65, at least here in Tyler. 62 down at Nacogdoches, 61 at Center, 61 at Mineola, 59 back at Terrell. So this is part of what I'm looking at here in terms of the severe potential for tomorrow. This stationary boundary is just kind of stuck in South Texas and Southeast Texas. And the severe weather threat tomorrow hinges on this becoming a warm front and how far it moves back to the north, and whether or not we can get any thunderstorms to form along the front as some swift upper level winds move over top of the front. If all those conditions can come together, then yeah, we could have a tornado warning in East Texas. Right now, just taking a look at the way the front is oriented, in fact, I could probably move it back up here toward New Orleans. It looks like these winds are a little more east, so we could bring the stationary front up to the Gulf Coast. But essentially, it is still just kind of cutting southeastern parts of Texas in half. So really, I think from deep East Texas to the south is probably going to be your best chance of severe weather after today's rains. I really think tonight's rains sort of changed enough of the atmospheric dynamics that it could have a big impact on that. All right, I want to point out something here out to the west. This is notable. Look at that big upper level low pressure area spinning out here to the west. There's also an upper level low spinning out here to the east. Kind of an unusual weather pattern. Haven't seen one of these in quite some time. This is the first one this year. It's called an omega block because we have this big upper level low, got a high pressure system here, kind of looks like a hat, and then a low pressure system over there. So all of this coming together to mean that this upper level low here is going to be moving to the east. Look at the jet stream winds. They're starting to increase across the area. So we're going to have some swift upper level winds coming in from the southwest. And again, conditional threat of tornadoes tomorrow if the front is where it needs to be as those swift winds come over top. We are seeing showers, thunderstorms out here. West Texas starting to form. This will be the first round of showers and thunderstorms that moves into East Texas early tomorrow morning. Then there's another one by about the middle part of the day. Remember last week we had all the rain and thunder kind of crash through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, made it off into East Texas. We were talking about a hatched area for hail threats and stuff like that. And then those thunderstorms moved in. We had some gusty winds. We had a little bit of hail. But essentially, the thunderstorms just crushed the energy, and we just got heavy rainfall. That's a real scenario that could play out tomorrow. At this time, Storm Prediction Center, after its latest outlook, still has the bulk of East Texas in a level 2 or slight risk of severe weather, meaning scattered severe thunderstorms will be possible anywhere in yellow. Doesn't mean you get a severe thunderstorm everywhere in yellow, but it could be scattered. And we may end up seeing this farther to the south. Not again sure that the Storm Prediction Center will move the slight risk south, but when it's all said and done, it may end up from Crockett to Lufkin, San Augustine, and south of that tomorrow. All right, here's Future Skycast. I'm starting this tonight at 10 o'clock. Again, looks like most of the rain is trying to scatter out of here. So we'll put this into motion. 3 o'clock in the morning, here comes some rain starting to redevelop, maybe a rumble of thunder embedded in there. 7 a.m., thunderstorms moving up toward the Arklatex. The warm front looks like it's even farther south than Groveton and Lufkin. We have east to southeast winds here, so the front's got to be farther to the south. I like to see a straight south wind with that warm front, so it might be oriented more like this over central Texas and then down to southeast Texas. Then we got thunderstorms moving in here. All right, so the temperatures are at 66. Pretty hard to have severe weather when your temperature's at 66 degrees. It's pretty cool, right? But watch what happens. This could be a thunderstorm complex coming out of West Texas. The leading edge of it could have some really cool cloud features. A shelf cloud. We could have a real definitive shelf cloud here, middle part of the day. If you can safely get a picture of that, I mean, it's going to look like a mothership, like a huge spaceship coming in, right? You'll see that it'll announce its arrival with that low cloud out in the front. Looks kind of ominous and scary. Gusty winds on the leading edge of that. Very few tornadoes usually form on the shelf cloud in the front. It's usually the wall cloud sometimes that can be embedded maybe on the southwestern part of a large thunderstorm complex. But leading edge, very photogenic. Take some pictures. Share those with us, whether it's CBS19.tv, but also be mindful that you could get hit with some pretty gusty winds as that thunderstorm comes through. Then you get into heavy rainfall, and it lasts for several hours. This is at 1 o'clock. When we're talking about rain, 4 o'clock, that's 3 straight hours of rain, maybe a little bit of a break, but then this next little wave comes through. So between essentially 1 o'clock tomorrow, maybe earlier than that, I should have said about 11 o'clock to about 8:30, it's raining here in East Texas. Rain continues down into deep East Texas by about 11:30. And then Wednesday morning, this is all just fog, gray clouds, and just an absolute yucky morning, gloomy morning, Wednesday morning for us with lots and lots of fog on top of that. So, okay. All right, just got a note that Facebook stream live isn't working even though it's set up in the stream. Okay, so I'm unable to answer any questions on Facebook, but if you're watching on the YouTube channel and on CBS19 Plus, I really appreciate your time. So again, 9:30 Wednesday morning's cloudy, foggy, maybe a little bit of mist, some drizzles possible, just a kind of a nasty start to Wednesday. When we get into the afternoon, we should be able to see just a few peaks of sunshine. There you go. Wednesday afternoon, but it might be just enough that it pops a couple of isolated thunderstorms from maybe Athens to parts down to the south. Maybe an old decaying boundary down there from the thunderstorm complex is the focus for a couple of showers and thunderstorms. We get into Wednesday night, we start to clear off. We get to Thursday. It's clear to start the day. By 1 o'clock, looks like it's sunny. I do think Thursday, late afternoon, evening, we'll see additional isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Storm energy tomorrow. Look at this. We have to wait till 4 o'clock to get weak amounts of storm energy. This is why I think this is more of a heavy rain producer than, say, a large hail producer, unless you're in southeast Texas, maybe out toward Waco. There's just a little bit. We try to get that energy in here, but it's gone. As more rain comes in, we get past sunset, we get back to the nighttime hours, and we're back to weak upper level energy. Now, upper level jet stream. Again, it's centered over parts of deep East Texas, so it could come in afternoon, some increased flow, low level flow increases, so we could have a spinning storm or two, maybe hail, maybe a tornado warning, but again, the energy isn't there, so it's sort of a low Cape high shear event, which can give you some gusty thunderstorms, but oftentimes you have to have both those ingredients together to get a tornado, so it's more of a wind threat. We get into 10 o'clock Tuesday night, we got a little bit of low level flow, but it's behind most of the thunderstorms, so I'm not tremendously concerned about that. Wednesday afternoon, the low level flow is gone. Low level flow is gone for the rest of the week. Now, we look at rotation potential going through the afternoon, and there are a few cells that are trying to rotate. What does that mean? Well, if you have a rotating supercell, a rotating thunderstorm, you have an updraft that is likely tilted. If you have a tilted updraft, you have an updraft that is able to sustain itself longer and can produce large hail. It can also produce some damaging winds. So again, it's focused in that area where the low-level jet increase tomorrow in parts of southeastern Angelina County, southern parts of San Augustine County, and Sabine County, and back to the south. Interesting to note, a couple of little weak rotating supercells around Sulphur Springs toward Mount Pleasant tomorrow afternoon. So you maybe have some thunderstorms, maybe some small hail up there. We get into Tuesday evening. We still have a couple of weakly rotating supercells trying to move through. By midnight, 1 a.m., gone. Rest of the week, gone. Tornado parameters. I'm going to start this tonight at 9 p.m. No tornado worries overnight. Now, did you see how it stayed down to that same area through the afternoon? So the tornado, what we're looking at here, we're taking into account wind shear, storm energy, spin in the atmosphere, a couple other factors. Put it all together, gives us an index of the tornado threat, and a significant tornado threat. Corsicana, Palestine, it's on the lower end. So it may end up playing out this way thanks to today's rain. It's cool, there's not much energy in the atmosphere. If the rain gets here in the morning tomorrow, we have that first round of thunderstorms. That just kills everything. It just squashes the severe weather threat for the most part, unless it's gusty, damaging winds, unless it's a little bit of, say, moderate-sized hail. Otherwise, you're just looking at the threat for flash flooding that will end up being the biggest threat out of this. Because next 3 days, the orange corresponds with a couple of bullseye points here. It's moved a little bit since earlier today, but essentially 2.5, or maybe in these areas in light purple, 1.5 inches to as much as 4 to 5 inches of rainfall. So it's that same scenario. You're driving along, you see deep water, we tell you to turn around or stop. Just don't try to drive through the water. A couple of reasons here. One, you don't know if that roadway, even if you're familiar with that roadway, you don't know if that roadway hasn't been washed out underneath that water, because you can't see beneath the water, can't see what's beneath the pavement. Two, you get into 6 inches of water, fast flowing water, you get into especially like a foot of water, The water's flowing quickly. It can start moving your vehicle. Once you lose control of your vehicle in a flash flood, forget it. You're at the beck and call of the water. You're at the mercy of wherever the water wants to take you, and sometimes it can just take you downstream. There are some great example videos out there where a car gets loose, floats down the stream, and there's no hope. All right, this is an unusual pattern. It's all because of this unusual pattern. I showed you that omega block that was setting up today, goes away tomorrow. Big upper low here, right? So we're not done with the rainfall after tomorrow. Big upper low. It spins to the east. It essentially cuts itself off from the main branch of the jet stream and then works its way down to the Gulf Coast. So that means we could see scattered showers Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon before that high pressure system takes over for the weekend and brings us a pretty nice Saturday. I might throw in a little chance of rain on Saturday. It just depends on the proximity of that low pressure system on the Gulf Coast. If it's where it was on that last graphic, then that low could spend us at least some clouds. But right now we'll end the rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, dry, just some really fantastic weather. Here's your 7-day forecast before we take a break and get ready for CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock. So 100% chance for thunderstorms tomorrow, weather impact alert, maybe an isolated patch of mist on Wednesday. Otherwise, morning clouds, fog, afternoon peaks of sun up to 78. Isolated thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, weekend, Saturday, Sunday for Mother's Day looks fantastic. And sunny skies on Monday. All right, so that brings us back to the start with CBS 19 live radar again. Very light rain out there for the next couple of hours, a little bit of a break overnight, and then likely what we'll end up seeing is additional showers and thunderstorms coming in. I would keep an eye out in Trinity County and maybe southern Angeline and Sabine and San Augustine County for this thunderstorm to move into those areas. Right now it is not warned. All right, thanks for watching this special update on our forecast on our CBS 19 Plus streaming channel and on our YouTube channel. Appreciate your time. Remember, you can like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about the YouTube channel. During storm days and before storm days, we'll do several updates, of course, through day. Sarah Blue doing some in the morning. I'll do some in the evening. And then when we get into active weather, we will do updates as needed, meaning if we have warnings, we're on. Otherwise, we'll try to update every few hours to keep you all informed and ahead of the storms that are moving through here. But rainy day tomorrow, stormy day at times tomorrow, scattered showers Thursday, Friday, and then a break, perhaps for as many as 9 days. We do not have any more weather impact alerts after tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. We will see you on CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock.